All right. We got the problem with anime as an adult. Oh boy. This pertains to me.
Anime. The greatest thing to happen to society since the birth of memes.
True.
It's a blessing and a curse. One day we can have the most beautiful story told about love, friendship, and promises. And the next we'll be watching a teacher deep pussy farting on her student's face, who just so happens to
What?
be her stepbrother. You lucky son of a bitch.
What the fuck?
Anime truly goes hard. Whether it's romance, action, horror, or hentai, they stay cooking up heat. And as someone who has been watching anime for over a decade, I can safely say that it's greater when you're younger. And as you grow and consume much of it,
Yeah.
it can become dull. But don't get
It does. Honestly, like when I was younger, I was probably more easily entertained by the random high schooler just happens to stumble upon some superpowers that he gets, and all of a sudden he has to go around collecting his little entourage of friends, if not a harem of people to go along with him on the journey to save the world. All right, that is not too appealing to me anymore. That little trope. All right, it's just not.
it twisted, I still enjoy the crazy action scenes.
Oh yeah,
Big dot
the action scenes are literally the best, especially if it's done by a studio that's just like out of this world. Like was it Studio Bones, Mappa, who else? I'm forgetting like a bunch. Jesus, horrible. What's the new one? Studio Apocalypse. I think that's the new one doing the Berserk anime. Can't wait for that shit. And there's a couple more that I'm forgetting. Sorry.
dots. The amazing stories, music, and animation. But if you're anything like me and more broke than R. Kelly, then you know the struggle that is.
Netflix.
Let me speak my truth, because back in 14 BC, all the OGs weren't using Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix, or Funimation. Watching anime was a struggle. It wasn't as easy as tapping an app. And truth,
No, it wasn't. Back in the day, if you wanted to watch some anime shit, you had to. Most of the time, it happened on two occasions, two instances. Cartoon Network during the Adult Swim section, which was like prime time for like kids, where you had Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Rurouni Kenshin. You know, a lot of these OG shows that I grew up watching. That was like for Adult Swim. And then what was it? There was like I forgot the name of the channel, but it was like on the cable that I had. I think it was on like channel 6 or something, and it was like Saturday morning cartoons. But sometimes they would have like anime shows on there. Like I remember watching the show Escaflowne, I think it's called. I could be like butchering that. And Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon. I didn't care for like the back and forth of the Pokemon Digimon. I just watched them both. I thought they were both cool. Who gives a fuck? And that Saturday morning cartoon chunk was another spot to have that I would watch like just a shitload of anime and cartoons on.
truth be told, it was difficult to find. Not
Yeah.
only was anime found on select channels, but it wasn't as popular as it is now, thus making it harder than finding Nemo. But that didn't stop us. We were out there watching anime like we were using the dark web, using websites like anime123.com,
What?
myanime.com, and the best site that contained every anime ever made, from OVAs to pilots to movies. Mwah. Anime.com. This website was like a taste of heaven. Heaven's gates were finally open.
I don't know
for
any
all
of those
to stream
sites.
Any anime illegally. And for a very long time, it was the website to be at. You could comment, rate, and watch every anime ever made.
Nice.
And years later, tragedy struck. I still remember when Kiss Anime was getting taken down. Everyone was freaking out. Heaven's Gates had been breached. The FBI was onto everyone. The apocalypse was here as we knew it. And we were all about to go to jail and become someone's bitch. And after a few months, Kiss Anime had become Cucked Anime and officially taken down. It was truly a dark time for many of us. Many fell ill, others moved on, but the rest of us kept moving forward. And during this time, Netflix was at its peak and had acquired a few more animes.
Yeah.
Strong hitters like Death Notes, Maji, Toradora, Little Birdie, More Tatas, and Thicker Butts. Great, so we can watch anime on Netflix, right? Not necessarily. Afterwards, Crunchyroll had launched a newly made anime streaming service that was releasing nothing but anime and some live action adaptations as well. Great, so we can
Really? I had no idea that Crunchyroll had the live actions, or at least some of them on there. Like, who the heck is watching those, dude? Seldom have I ever seen a good live action like transition from an anime, because most of the time it just doesn't work. The acting that happens in an anime is usually like over the top, overacting in most situations and just in most scenes in general. And then for directors to try to adapt that to like real life, most of the time it just doesn't work.
Can definitely watch anime on Crunchyroll, right? Kinda. Because if you want to watch an anime that Crunchyroll or Netflix don't have, then you need to look elsewhere. It's kind of like Monopoly. You have 4 players buying properties, but instead of being players, there are companies.
Yeah.
And instead of buying homes, they're buying licenses for animes. So now, if I want to watch Bleach, I have to go on Hulu and pay $20 for premium for the new season.
I still haven't seen any Bleach at all. I've seen like little clips and whatnot, and it always looks badass, but I still have not seen Bleach in its entirety.
If I want to watch Tokyo Ghoul, that's $10 for Funimation. All One Piece episodes are only on Crunchyroll, so another whopping $10.
Yeah.
$20 for Netflix, and that's only worth it for Cyber.
Okay, so what is happening is there's money accumulating from all the stream services. Ooh, what a surprise.
Punk. And if none of these streaming services have the anime I'm looking for, then I poo-poo it is, which is $3.99 per episode, or
What? No way it's $4 an episode. Holy shit, that's highway robbery.
through $39 per one season. Apple, you retarded bitch. Who's gonna be spending all that money?
No one.
Of course, some animes are on multiple platforms, but they may not have all the seasons, or it's only on the platform for a limited time. In conclusion, I'm broke. I know I can go on websites like 9anime.com, but I'm not trying to get viruses on my PC.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time when I was a child of the Lord.
Yeah, dude. Like what? Literally, what he said. There's too many goddamn streaming services that are just trying to take every little like anime show and whatever, just to get their hands on it, just so you can subscribe to them for the 1 month. You watch all the shit, and then you just dip out. It feels just so bad that the ability to like watch something is like gate kept by how much money you make. Ugh. It just like, to some degree, yeah, it's a want and not a need. And in that respect, I get it, but still, it just still feels like shitty.
Time when I was touching grass and playing house with the homies. A time before I got my heart broken and went on my Drake phase. A time when I first tasted the rainbow. No, not that rainbow. This rainbow. If you're just discovering anime, then you stumbled upon some of the weirdest and yet intriguing storylines ever. Everything is fresh and new. It's a whole world filled with great storytelling, unique premises, and characters. But if you've been watching anime since you were a kid, not a lot can surprise you anymore from this media. For example, if the story is suddenly giving us a flashback or backstory on a side character, then he or she is about to get their cheeks clapped and about to be sent to the Shadow Realm. If the main character is catching those hands and getting...
Yeah, the filler episodes. I can't stand filler episodes. They're annoying. Sometimes they'll be like the flashbacks, like you said, and it's like, just get to the fucking story, dude. I don't care about this. I was there for that. I don't need to be reminded of that.
Slapped around like a porn star. then we know they're about to pop off and unleash the demon within. If she's built like a Bugatti, she's forever single. Yeah, anime is pretty cliche. While some stories are really unique, many fall.
Well, one of the reasons anime is cliche is because their target audience is also pretty cliche in what they like. It is what it is. Like, for the most part, anime is targeted towards young men between the ages of, like, I don't know, 14 and, I don't know, 30, 25, something like that. I mean, I'm 34 and I'll still watch like a couple animes here and there, but I find myself not watching or gravitating towards the old things that I liked. And shit, I even like go back and just rewatch some of the, like, just, I don't know, the good ones or whatever I think was good or whatever I connected with. I don't really want to like engage with like some new anime, even if a good studio made it. Oh, it's the young boy in the high school shtick again. I don't care. I don't want to watch that again. No, thank you. And it's just, I don't know. It's just so rare to have like animes that dip into like adult themes and not just sex and all that jazz. But I mean, this is why I'm really hoping for that fucking Berserk anime to just pop off when that shit gets done. Fingers crossed on that.
All of the repetitive tropes, which aren't bad necessarily, but we all know what to expect out of these story tropes. If we're watching shonen, then we're more or less likely to meet a trio. We're also going to have a friend rival who's the opposite of them. So
yeah.
They love each other, hate each other, they're kind of like siblings.
Yep.
And finally, the main character is an underdog, and has demonic abilities or something unnatural that the good guys need in order to shit on the bad guys. If we're watching romance, it's usually in a high school setting. The two main leads are the opposites, and my balls become bluer than a Smurf because they can't communicate their feelings.
True.
Hold hands. Come on. Please. Please.
No, but if they hold hands, the episode's done. The show's done. All right? Then there's nothing to look forward to.
Son of a... If we're watching a harem, then we're going to witness 6 girls fighting over a guy that looks so plain, he could be a background stan. Etc., etc., etc. Those of us who have watched anime for at least 10 years have seen it all, and therefore our anime interest has somewhat declined. We still enjoy it, but it's hard to keep us involved in many stories.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be that guy, but fuck them kids. I just want more
True.
adults in their 20s or even 30s as protagonists in anime stories in general. It's starting to feel like every new show or manga is the same as the last one in terms.
I don't know. If you want some stories like that, you'd have to call into question the skill of the storyteller at that point. It's not so, because like from my understanding, most of the time animes are derived from the mangas that they were created, and then there was like just some person that created the manga, and then the manga popped off, it sold a lot of units or so on and so forth, that everybody liked it. And then I don't know exactly the process how it goes from like manga to anime, but it's just, it seems like if the manga was like popular enough, it'll get an anime adaptation. That's pretty much what I derive from it. But I don't know. It just seems like the young high schooler with superpowers and an entourage of a bunch of people or a harem is just long and drawn out, and it's like oversaturated at this point. You'd have to like really call into question like the skill of storytelling for I don't know, some of these people to try to come up with, I don't know, a new original story and have the protagonist or the main character be like some fucking warped 30-year-old motherfucker. And the only thing that really comes to mind is Berserk for me. And I don't even think Berserk is 30. Or not Berserk. Guts. Isn't he like, he's like super jacked, but isn't he only like early 20s or some shit like that? 25? Like max? Even then.
Of storytelling, plots, and characters. Everything is just a small carbon copy of the last, and it's just... it's alright. As an anime nerd, I just need something new to quench my... One anime that kind of stands out in this respect
is Naruto to me, because when that thing first came out, like I first read about Naruto and like the Shonen like magazine thing. I went over to my buddy's house. He showed me these. I think it was on like episode or not episode, like issue like 10 or 11, 12ish or something like that. And then it was like, hey guys, new story, Naruto. And then it goes through all of season 1, season 2, and 3, and all that shit. And I read them all, and I actually subscribed to Shonen Jump for a little bit of time. And then when like the manga was on like season, I don't know, 5, 6, or 7, it's like, oh hey guys, we're gonna come out with the anime. And then I watched episode 1 of Naruto, and I just did not like it. Even though it was like pretty accurate to like the first like chapter or whatever, the first issue of like the manga, I just couldn't get over the voice acting. But despite that, Naruto has at least been able to show at least the growth of a character from like a little kid all the way up until like adulthood, to the point where like he has a kid, and now the kid has his own show and all that shit. From that aspect, I can respect that, because you know it's still kind of like a Naruto show, but it's really about Boruto now, or I don't know, maybe it's like a little bit of both to some degree. But I can respect it for having that like that length of a story and showing the character from like a child to adulthood now. I think that is pretty cool.
My taste buds. Back in the day when I was a young lad, I was like one of the girls with the Justin Bieber poster, but instead, it was anime. Anime was my Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I truly was a believer.
Yeah, for me, it was Dragon Ball Z. I used to have, so like there was like an era that I had in my life where I would just draw Dragon Ball Z and all the movies and all the shows and all the characters, and I would actually go to the library and print off pictures that I just thought were cool, like cool stills that I saw either from an episode or someone else, and I would print them off in like black and white, and I would just like cut them out, and I would learn how to draw just from like looking at these pictures and whatnot. And I got like halfway decent, but I never kept up with it. But I actually like pinned them up in my room everywhere. If you were to walk into my room, I was like a turbo nerd in this respect. I had Dragon Ball Z shit everywhere. I had the fucking glow in the dark stars everywhere and shit. What else? I had some other stuff too. I had like cool ass like video game stuff. Like, yeah, it was just a time.
Back then, I was able to consume 15 episodes of One Piece, watch one anime season that consisted of 12 episodes, read 2 volumes of manga, and still have time to watch Black Bible at midnight. Boy, was I in for a treat when Imari came out rocking a demonic BP. I had to exit after that. 12-year-old me was mentally defeated, but that's besides the point. Now that I'm an adult and have to be responsible,
Yeah.
it's hard to actually keep up with many animes, especially when they have multiple seasons.
Oh yeah. Season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6. Yeah. I mean, that is both a good and a bad thing. It's good because these aren't like too crazy. Like 25, 25, 25. Bro, honestly, the crazy thing is trying to get in a One Piece now. It's like over 1,500 episodes. And depending on who you are, that's either a good or a bad thing. Like, oh, I would say for the most part, if someone were to see that and to see how long it would take to get through it, it's like, that's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it's like, it's massive. But some of these shows where it's like 10 episodes of a season, or like this is a little on the larger side, like 25, about 25 a season. These are a little larger, but still like palatable.
For example, I still haven't finished My Hero Academia. I'm still on episode 6 of Fire Force, and Black Clover is the one anime I keep postponing. As a guy who works a full-time job, goes to college, and has little free time for friends and family, I sadly don't have enough time for anime sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the case for other people.
Same.
Some people may have families, kids, or are just constantly busy. And on their free time, they much rather spend it with their loved ones or on hobbies.
Yeah.
It's different than when we were hooligans. Back then, time was always on our side.
Back then when we were all degenerates.
Because quite frankly, we had a lot of it. And as you grow up, you have less and less time for yourself. And it's not that bad. But it's something everyone has to do eventually.
Still fucks with it?
Overall, I still very much have a passion for anime.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more difficult to watch due to circumstances, but each year something does intrigue me. It's one of the only type of medias that does storytelling like no other. And for that reason, even when I'm an old fart taking giant dookies in my pants, I will still very much be watching One Piece episode 3058.
What of the
Oh man. Wait, what? That was it? That was the outro?
Anime.
Oh my god. Oh, that was so good, dude. Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. Hit the nail on the head with it. You know, you're just everybody as an adult now. Your time is just taken up by other things, friends, family, adulting, your job, your bill, all the stream services cost too much. There's too many of them. There's too many animes. There's too many episodes, and all this other shit. Where back in the day, you could have just turned on Saturday morning cartoons or Adult Swim and just chill out for a couple hours. Ugh. Yeah. But no, that was a cool ass video. And I'm a fan. I want to see more. But that's pretty much it for me, man. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.